on this Honda CR-V application, including the L4-2, 4LK24W9, engine description, B1229 points to an open in the sunlight sensor circuit for the climate control unit. In plain terms, the control unit may not be getting the sun load signal it expects. The driver may notice the automatic climate control reacting poorly to sunlight, or the system may store the code with no obvious complaint. Broadly, this can involve wiring or connector trouble in the sunlight sensor circuit, a possible sunlight sensor issue, or a possible climate control unit issue. The diagnostic path is to confirm the code first, then work through the tune line, the sensor COM line, the short check, and finally the sensor versus control unit decision. Start by clearing the DTC with the HDS. Turn the vehicle to OFF lock mode, then turn it back on. Run the self-diagnostic function with the HDS or with the climate control unit, then check for codes again. If B1229 or 07 on the climate display is indicated again, continue with the circuit checks. If it is not indicated, treat it as an intermittent fault and check for loose wires or poor connections in the sunlight sensor circuit. Next, turn the vehicle back to OFF lock mode. Disconnect the climate control unit 32P connector and disconnect the sunlight sensor connector. For the tune continuity check, test from climate control unit 32P connector no. 3 to the sunlight sensor connector no. 2 terminal for the applicable connector setup. If there is continuity, the tune wire is not open, so move on to the next check. If there is no continuity, repair the open in the wire between the climate control unit and the sunlight sensor. With the vehicle still OFF lock mode and with the climate control unit 32P connector and sunlight sensor connector still disconnected, check the sensor COM line. Test from climate control unit 32P connector no. 23 to the sunlight sensor connector. On the 2P connector, the sunlight sensor side is no. 1. On the 7P connector, the sunlight sensor side is no. 3. If there is continuity, the sensor COM wire is OK, and the next check is the short check. If there is no continuity, repair the open in the wire between the climate control unit and the sunlight sensor. Now check whether the tune line is shorted to the sensor 5V line. Keep the vehicle in OFF lock mode with the climate control unit 32P connector disconnected and the sunlight sensor connector disconnected. Check continuity between climate control unit 32P connector no. 3 and climate control unit 32P connector no. 17. If there is continuity, repair the short in the wires between the climate control unit and the sunlight sensor. If there is no continuity, the tune wire and sensor 5V wire are not shorted, so continue to the sunlight sensor check. Reconnect the climate control unit 32P connector, then test the sunlight sensor. At that point, pause and complete the correct sunlight sensor test before making the call. Do not substitute a guess for that test. If the sunlight sensor tests OK, replace the climate control unit. If the sunlight sensor does not test OK, replace the sunlight sensor. Keep verification separate from the circuit testing. Once the fault path has been corrected, use the same basic confirmation routine. Clear the DTC, cycle the vehicle from OFF, lock mode back to on, run the self-diagnostic function, and confirm B1229 stays gone. The takeaway is simple. Prove the code is current. Prove both sensor wires can carry the signal. Rule out the short between tune and the sensor power line. Then make the sensor or control unit decision only after the sunlight sensor has been tested correctly. For more diagnostic training, visit Diagnostics.com.